Okay, let's review real quick what we read on Friday, okay? I feel like we read it quite a bit on Friday. Sistine meets Willie May. Sistine meets Willie May. Yep. Okay. We learned that Willie May's very tall, and Willie May says, ain't that just like God putting you two together? Rob all full of sorrow and sadness, Sistine all full of anger. Yeah. Anger. She was like, you don't need to introduce me. I know who you are. You're angry. Okay. She's like, I've been angry most of my life. And Rob really wants them to really like each other and get connect. Yep. Then Dad finds out about the rotten meat. Okay. And then Rob says, Beauchamp gave it to him, and he gets kind of offended. He's like, he thinks he already doesn't pay me enough. Now he thinks I can't feed my family. He has a memory moment when he was with his mom. They were just like laying on the ground in the park, like looking up, just had this thinking of her. Flashback. Yep. Okay. All right, chapter 23. The next morning, so the last thing says, it started to rain and he put the medicine on his legs. Okay, the next morning, Rob put the keys to the tiger cage in one pocket and the wooden bird in the other, and set out looking for Willie May. Remember, he likes to whittle things, and the last thing he was making turned out to be Cricket, Willie May's bird. Okay. He found her in the laundry room, sitting on one of the fold-up chairs, smoking a cigarette, and staring into space. Hey there, she said to him. Where's your lady friend at? School, said Rob. But today's only a half day. He kept his hands in his pockets. Now that he stood before Willie May, he was afraid to give her the bird. What if it was wrong? What if he had carved it wrong, and it didn't look anything like the real Cricket? I made you something, said Rob quickly, before he lost his nerve. Made me something, said Willie May. For real? Uh-huh. Close your eyes and hold out your hand. I ain't, said Willie May. But she smiled and closed her eyes and put out her enormous hand, palm up. Rob carefully placed the bird in it. You can look now. She closed her fingers around the little piece of wood, but she didn't open her eyes. She puffed on her cigarette. The long gray ash on the end of it trembled. Don't need to look, she finally said. The cigarette ash dropped to the floor. I know what I got in my hands. It's Cricket. But you gotta look at it and tell me, did I do it right? Said Rob. I ain't gotta do nothing, said Willie May. She opened her eyes slowly, as if she were afraid she might frighten the bird into flying away. This is the right bird, she said, nodding her head. This is the one. Now you don't gotta dream about him no more, said Rob. That's right, said Willie May. Where'd you learn to work a piece of wood like this? My mama, said Rob. Willie May nodded. She taught you good. Yes, ma'am, said Rob. He stared down at his legs. I know a wooden bird ain't the same as having a real one. It ain't, agreed Willie May, but it soothes my heart just the same. My dad said he ain't got no jobs for me until this afternoon. He said I could help you out this morning. Well, said Willie May. She dropped the bird into the front pocket of her dress. I might could find some way for you to help me. So Rob spent the morning following Willie May from room to room, stripping the dirty sheets from the beds. And while he worked, the keys jingled in his pocket, and he knew that Sistine would be out of school, and that she would demand again that he unlock the cage and let the tiger go. 24. Where's the prophetess? Sistine asked him as soon as she stepped off the bus. She was wearing a bright orange dress with pink circles all over it. Her left knee was skinned and bleeding, and her right eye was swollen. So Sistine has yet again gotten into a sort of a scuffle and a fight. Yep. Huh? Said Rob. He stood and stared at her and wondered how she could get into so many fights in only a half day of school. Willie May, said Sistine. Where is she? She's vacuuming, said Rob. Sistine started walking purposefully toward the Kentucky Star. She talked to Rob without looking back. My mother found out that I was wearing your clothes to school, she said. She took them away from me. I'm in trouble. I'm not supposed to come here anymore. You know, said Rob, you don't always gotta get in fights. Sometimes, if you don't hit them back, they leave you alone. She whirled around and faced him. I want to get in fights, she said fiercely. I want to hit them back. Sometimes I hit them first. Oh, said Rob. Sistine turned back around. I'm going to find the prophetess, she said loudly. I'm going to ask her what she should do about the tiger. Or what we should do about the tiger. You can't ask her about the tiger, said Rob. Beauchamp and I ain't supposed to tell nobody, especially not Willie May. Sistine didn't answer him. She started to run, and Rob, to keep up with her, ran too. They found Willie May vacuuming the shag carpet in room 203. Sistine went up behind her and tapped her on the back. Willie May whirled around with her fists clenched, like a boxer. We need some answers, Sistine shouted over the roar of the vacuum cleaner. Willie May bent down and turned the vacuum cleaner off. Well, she said, look who's here. She kept her hand balled up as if she were still searching for something to hit. What's in your hand? Sistine asked. Willie May uncurled her fist and showed Sistine the bird. Oh, said Sistine, and Rob realized then why he liked Sistine so much. He liked her because when she saw something beautiful, the sound of her voice changed. All the words she uttered had an oof sound to them, as if she was getting punched in the stomach. The sound was in her voice when she talked about the Sistine Chapel, and when she looked at the things he carved in wood. It was there when she said the poem about the tiger burning bright. It was there when she talked about Willie May being a prophetess. Her words sounded all the way those things made him feel. As if the world, the real world, had been punched through so that he could see something wonderful and dazzling on the other side of it. Did Rob make it? Sistine asked Willie May. He did, said Willie May. It looks alive. Is it like your bird that you let go? Just about exactly, said Willie May. Said Sistine. She looked at Willie May. Then she turned and looked at Rob. She said, we need to ask you something. Ask on, said Willie May. If you knew something about something that was locked up in a cage, something big and beautiful that was locked away unfairly for no good reason, and you had the keys to let it go, would you let it go? Willie May sat down on the bed. A cloud of dust rose up around her. Lord God, she said, what do you two children got in a cage? It's a tiger, Rob said. He felt like he had to be the one who said it. He was the one who found the tiger. He was the one who had the keys to the cage. A what? Said Willie May. A tiger, said Sistine. Oh, Jesus, exclaimed Willie May. It's true, said Sistine. Willie May shook her head. She looked up at the ceiling, let out her breath in a loud, slow hiss of disapproval. All right, she said. Why don't you all show me where you got this tiger locked up in a cage? Okay.